Hope Core doesn't get too much underfoot.
Airlock and get aboard.
Hello, Captain.
How may the... By all means. Was there something? Certainly. Good to see. Certainly.
really did think this place would see a bit more action.
May I be of service? By all means.
This is UC Security. Prepare to be scanned for contraband. And we're done. Welcome to Mars. Stay away from the Sixth Circle unless you're a minor. Or at least they'll come crying to me if anything happens to you.
Ain't you brave, coming to see a bona fide tracker? Hey, you looking for more work? We did! Soon after you left, the signal pinged. Soon as it did, I sent word to my fellow tracker, and on top of that, we bagged another wanted criminal. Turns out our guy was using the launch pad as a rendezvous point to traffic illicit goods, including human organs and worse. Bye. Hope I never have to kill you.
Be careful down near the mines, and enter any active... lots. Hey, cool. Yo, stay good up. There.
If you're here to buy or sell, you might want to talk to Octai. I'm busy. Octai and Bayar. He's the head of our... If you want to do some trading, he's the one you need to be talking. And by sensitive, I'm guessing you mean something you don't want used. I can probably help you with that. What have you got for me? I'm not talking price until I know what the hell I'm buying. Aurora, huh? Nice. A little too hot to handle, though. What? All I'm going to point at is the ceiling, with my middle finger. Get that stuff out of here before UC security catches on. Of course, if there's a finder's fee you're offering, I might, well, bend the rules a little bit. Sure, go ahead. You shoot me, and the TA will have bounty hunters on your ass before you even get back to the spaceport. Listen, love, I've heard it all. Threats bounce right off, so either cough up the finder's fee or try and sell that. You know, it's funny. Suddenly, I do remember someone who might be able to unload that stuff for me. There's a buddy of mine who runs with the Crimson Fleet. Goes by the name Adler Kemp. If he isn't passed out, you can find him killing the rest of his brain cells at the Broken Spear. Oh, and it's been a pleasure doing...
A reduced noise ordinance is in effect every night from 2200 hours until 0500 hours the next morning.
Always nice to get back to the Broken Spear after.
Hello, love. The great serpent fate. Finally, I've been waiting.
Captain, hello. I am.
The community center on P1 is a good place to connect with others.
The new equipment is great. I finally feel like I'm working at full speed.
Unless you're here to serve me another drink, you can turn around and walk away. Oh yeah? Well, I don't know who the hell you are. So what makes you think I'm going to help you out?
Might be time for...
Hey, why don't you say that a little louder? I don't think every single UC guard in Sidonia heard you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we can help you with this. If you've got a whole shipment of this stuff, you're going to need to move it fast. But you're going to have to do something for us first.
Gotta try to liven things up a little.
You're a clever one, aren't you? Let's just say I have a certain influential affiliation. And leave it at that. Basically, you want that Aurora moved, I'm your guy. Pipe down! What the hell's the matter with you? You want to get us both thrown into lockup? Look, I don't know what that big-mouth Saoirse told you, but I keep who I run with a secret in public. And I suggest you do the same. Now, do you want my help moving your product, or not? Right down to business! And no small talk. I like.
I see no good reason why we should have any extra dealings with the likes of you.
Lady, if you want me to move that shipment for your pal here, you're going to do whatever the hell I want. You got that? Now listen up, because I'm not going to repeat myself. I need you to deal with a miner who's racked up a bunch of debt. He probably spent it all on booze, not that I blame him. Either way, I want that money back. What do I need to do here? Write you an instruction manual? You can do this loud, you can do this quiet. I don't care. I just want my goddamn money, and I want this guy to remember who he screwed over.
Gotta try to liven things up a little.
Yoo-hoo! Anyone in there?
You need a vacation.
I can't tell one day from the next.
Gotta try to liven things up a little.
You better not be ignoring me.
There's gotta be more lively than this.
Time you went somewhere new.
I feel stuck.
What you need is a change of scenery.
You going to answer, or what?
It's the same day in, day out.
What you need is a change of scenery.
I feel stuck.
Might be time for a change.
Feel free to throw as many credits in my face as you want, but that isn't the point. We need to make an example out of this guy. His name's Carl Fielding. I think you'll find him wandering around the Deimos miners' quarters. Don't worry, you can't miss him. Just look for the most miserable-looking guy in the entire place.
Do you have a child or children between the ages of 5 to 18? Enroll them in the United Colonial Distance Learning Program today. Your children will be provided with distinct programs teaching them art, science, mathematics, history, and more, all in the comfort of your own home.
Hey.
Put your children on
Yes.
the right path to success and enroll today.
Excuse me.
Yes? What?
Hey, it's my personal savior. Thanks again for the assist.
Whew. Always a satisfying moment to return to your ship.
See anything interesting today?
Yeah, the way you handle things. Not bad.
What can I do for you, boss?
I'm listening. Hey, feel free to drop some stuff into my bag.
A pet. We live on a starship.
Always. Point the way and we'll be off.
Miss Morgan, I shall be here if you need me.
It's actually comforting to know that, Androsia. Thank you.
Give him an inch. We'll see, Gumdrop.
Building Sidonia completely underground was a clever way of keeping the city shielded from the harsh Martian landscape.
No. Oh, I mean, was that too frank? I don't know. I mean, the job pays well, but it's dangerous and hard work. I hurt myself a lot, too. I'm definitely looking forward to my contract being up so I can leave. But I don't really know what I'll do after. Oh, man, this is all so stressful. Well, I guess I am. The thing is, I get injured on the job a lot. Nothing too serious. I've lost a few fingers and toes and stuff. And, well, I have to go see Dr. Flynn a lot for treatment. I'm pretty sure she's annoyed and sick. I've been thinking about writing her a letter of apology, but I have no idea where to even start. I don't want to come across as... Stay safe.
If you're going to use the elevators or stairs to reach the other levels, try to keep them clean. Maybe.
Look at this place. I can't imagine being cramped down here, choking on the fumes and the dust. No trees, no grass. It's depressing.
Something I can help you with? Adler Camp. Who the heck is that? Of course, I owe money. Unless you're independently wealthy. Everyone's in debt nowadays. I owe Deimos. I owe my landlord. I owe Galbank. Heck, I have a tab at Parsec Deep at Cespea. It's an endless list. So why don't you just leave me here? Let me get drunk and find someone else to bother. Adler, you said? Nope. I think you have me mixed up with someone else. Look, I'm tired. It's been a long day in the mines. I just want to go home, wash off the dust, and relax. This... hey now. Take it easy there. Let me think. Oh, wait. You mean that Adler? Yeah, sorry. I thought you would. I told him I'd pay up next week when Deimos cuts our next profit share check. I'll even bring it to him personally. Hmm? Well, I mean, he doesn't really have a choice. Look, I haven't got a single credit to spare right now, okay? You can't squeeze blood from a stone.
Perhaps he's already been through enough.
I'm a miner for Deimos. It's not what I was hoping for out of life. Yeah, it's a lousy company. Pays me a salary. But I depend on the profit-sharing bonuses to keep food on the table for my family. Hey, now wait a second. Just because things are tough, and I might be spending my afternoons at the Spear, it doesn't mean I don't care about my family. Adler doesn't get to judge me. No, he's just a low-life pirate who thinks he can put... What games? Why are you doing this to me? I don't have... No way! I'm already working my fingers... How dare you try and I'm starting to think you're right. Please, tell Adler I'm sorry for trying to wiggle out of the debt. I didn't have much of a choice.
Reminder, please report any incidents of heat leeches to ship services and Macedonia security.
Yeah? Goodbye.
Charity auction for the widows and orphans of Crimson Fleet and Spacer Island.
Hey.
Have something for me? Don't start that crap with me. I mean, did you bring me the money Fielding owes me, or do I need to pay him a visit myself? There, would you look at that? I knew that bum was holding out on me. He going to be a problem anymore? Or did he get the message? Nice. Nice! You're kind of a natural at this. Leaning on deadbeats come... You know, if you like this kind of work, I can get you more. You think you can handle running with my, If you haven't figured that out by now, then maybe you aren't cut out for our line. That's what I'm talking about. I like your style. All right. I'll call ahead and get a hold of Nevamora. She's second to the big boss himself. Head out to Europa. You'll find her there. I suggest you listen to whatever she has to say. Oh, and I've taken care of that Aurora shipment for you too. Don't spend all that cash in one place.
What can I help you?
Look who finally had the guts to show up. Looks like Adler finally did something right for once. So, big shot. I hear Adler thinks you're good enough to join our crew. You betting your life on that? Because the only way out of our organization is with a warhead up your grav drive. So, before I put you to work, let's get everything out in the open. I don't know if Adler mentioned it, and for his sake, I hope he hasn't. But you aren't about to sign up with any average pirate crew. You're signing up with the Crimson Fleet. That's if you get through this little task I have planned for you. There's a medical supply ship called the Ragana, jumping into Enceladus's orbit. On board that ship, you'll find a traitor named Austin Rake. I want him dead. This job isn't about the loot, but I suppose they keep whatever worthless junk is on that ship. Just remember, the only thing... There's a lesson in this. I need you to learn what'll happen if you decide to turn... Consider it your glimpse into a possible, unfortunate future. Kill Rake. That's your only... If you want my advice, there's only one way to guarantee he dies. Turn the Ragana into... It's done when... Head back here when you're finished. I've been tracking Rick for months. He's making it tough, not gonna lie. He changes his location and identity so often, it's costing me a small fortune just to keep tabs. But you know what? It's worth every damn cred. He's made me look like a fool in front of Delgado, and I'm gonna have his head on a pike. Rake used to run with the fleet. Hell, I'm the one who vouched for him in the first place. Back then he had a different name and a different identity. He was a damn good earner, too. Brought in a ton of creds. Everything was fine until he wanted out. So he ran. And nobody...
Starsky, pilot of the Regana. We are a simple transport ship heading to New Homestead. We do not want any trouble. I was afraid of that. Look, we are not built for combat. Well, normally I would say no, but frankly, it will be safer for us that. All right, you can do.
Green lights on outer hatch. We're docked.
I don't suppose I have time for a nap before we leave? Hmm?
I am not sure what to make of you being here. If you wanted to kill us, you could have done that from your ship. If you wanted our cargo, we could have jettisoned it. I guess I should just stop talking and let you say your piece. That is not something I am going to do, not until you reveal your intent. As far as you are concerned, I am Austin Rake. You want him? You're going to have to kill me. Now, do you mind telling us what this is? I will not murder a man in cold blood. You will have to kill us all. You really do not know which one of us is Rake, do you? And you do not seem to care either, which makes me think you really want to save him. Okay, I have idea. We can strike his name from Manifest, make it so he was never on board. Then, when we dock, we will leave him on this ship and deliver him to another port. That is fair. We do not... Is that all right with you, Austin?
Do I have a choice?
It does not appear you do. Well then, it is agreed. You go back to your ship and we will make sure Rake was never on ours. And in case any of your handlers get suspicious, here. We had an extra crate of supplies loaded, in case one... This should be proof you were not here.
When you have a moment, I'd like to speak to you.
Oh, you're losing! That, my friend, is how we do things on Gem. Have you taken leave of your senses? Rake was your target. I didn't sign on to this voyage to take part in mass murder. something I need to talk to you about. When you have a few moments, there's something I'd like to discuss. Something you need?
Be careful around the fleet. They talk about family, but it's just a bunch of crap.
This unpleasantness is...
We will make sure, Ray. And I hope you do not take this the wrong way, but...
Thank you for letting us go.
we will make sure... And I hope you do not take...
I thought we were dead. I can't...
If you ever get to the key, you better sleep with one eye open and 2 pistols loaded. So now what? They're gonna put me in a sys-def prison? I'm not saying it's worse than death, but it's pretty damn close. So you're the fleet's new dog, huh? Be careful around the fleet. They talk about family, but it's just a bunch of crap.
Ever since we talked about the Battle of Cassiopeia, I can't get what happened out of my mind. Bye. Ever since we talked about the battle... Was it that obvious? I thought I could handle these memories, but until I return to Cassiopeia, I'll never be able to put this... The last time I saw my crew, I need to find the wreckage to ensure their memories are on. I would like that. Actually, I need that. One problem though. Pinpointing the crew's shuttle wreckage is going to be like trying to find a grain of salt in a sandbox. I think we need to start by locating my old campsite on Cassiopeia 1. Shortly after I evacuated, the UC listed it as lost, so I assume the Dauntless took heavy fire to the docking section during the battle. We had 3 shuttles. 1 was destroyed, and the other 2 were damaged. There was... What's there to tell? I survived. Still, I'll never forget my finger hovering over that launch button. Would I launch safely, or... It turned out that my shuttle had just enough power to allow an emergency landing on the planet's surface. I wouldn't call what I did a soft landing, but thank you all the same. My shuttle should have the telemetry tracking data for the other shuttle aboard. It should give us an idea where... That's if scavengers haven't completely stripped my ship for parts. It has a breathable atmosphere, indigenous fauna, and maybe a few abandoned mining outposts. Otherwise, it's not populated. Don't worry, it's not as though I'm coming apart at the seams. It's the conversations we've been having. They dredged up these old... Hold on. I don't know the exact location of my survival campsite. For that, we are going to have to head to Mast and see if we can get... Your instincts are right on target. Logan and I butted heads more than once during my time with the Navigator Corps. We've never seen eye to... Look, I hope this isn't asking too much. Last thing I want to do is drag you into some... Thanks. I really needed a laugh. Truth is, I'm scared. When I set foot on Cassiopeia... if I begin to fall apart, I'm going to... Besides bad memories, I don't know. I'm trying not to think about it. I know you will. You've always been there when I've needed your help. Why? I don't know what to say. I've been so busy searching the stars for answers. I've overlooked what's been in front of me all this time. True love. Something I've seriously considered sharing with you for a long time. I'm just not ready. Traveling out here with you, I've discovered that friendships change by circumstance. I worked closely with Aja on long space voyages, so we became friendly. When she quit Constellation, the friendship ended. But I'm certain at this point, even if you and I were separated by a great distance... Yes. Hey, anyway, I've taken up enough of your time. I know you have a lot to do. Hopefully, it'll bring me the closure that I've needed for... If you don't mind, I'd like to speak to Admiral Logan sooner rather than later. I don't mind at all. Go ahead. Honestly, it felt like I was marooned on that planet for years. It wasn't until the UC rescue ship picked me up that I realized only 10 months had... The escape shuttle had some supplies, but those ran out. Fortunately, Cassiopeia is a lush planet with plenty of flora and fauna. Logan and I have rarely agreed on anything. In fact, I'm fairly certain he never saw the true value in the Navigator Corps in the first place. When word came down that my division was being mothballed, I stormed into his office and, well... we haven't spoken since. Okay, back to it. Let's head for New Atlantis. It's important we get to Mast so I can talk to Admiral Logan.
must confess, the hum... You need something? My junk is now... Once you're done with your other business, I'd love to. Just not right now.
Informed us of your new status. Congratulations on making clap. It's one.
Sarah Morgan. It's been what, almost 10 years?
Admiral, it's, good to see you again, sir.
You're not required to address me as sir. That protocol ended the moment you dropped your clusters on my desk, remember?
Look, Admiral, I'm not here to open old wounds.
Old wounds is an interesting turn of phrase, given our past. Listen to me, Commander. I'm not sure why you're here, but whatever it is, why don't you just get to it?
I'm here because I need your help, Admiral.
You need my help. That's interesting. The last time we spoke, you made it quite clear that you were turning your back on the Navy.
That was a decade ago. Things change. People change. Admiral, please. I didn't come here to argue. I'm here to come to terms with my past.
Your past is sitting in a closed file in the archives. That's where you left it when you walked out on the United Colonies. And what about you? Just who in the blazes are you anyway? I haven't spoken to Sarah Morgan for almost 10 years, and out of the blue, both of you barge into my office. I want answers. You can start with telling me... Very well. Then, as a good friend, perhaps you could kindly explain to me why I shouldn't have the...
With all due respect, Admiral, this is ridiculous. If you have a problem with me, then there's no need to berate my colleague.
I don't have a problem with you, Commander. I'm simply trying to determine why you deserve the Navy. That's quite a noble gesture. Is this true, Commander?
It's about Cassiopeia, Admiral. I'm heading back there to find out what happened to the crew of the Dauntless, and hopefully, to bring their legacy home.
That sounds like a dangerous operation. Are you certain it's worth the risk?
I don't know.
I see. The fact that you'd risk your own lives to solve this mystery speaks volumes.
They were my responsibility, Admiral. One way or another.
I understand. And I believe I owe you an apology. Our last encounter has obviously distorted my impression of your character.
If you wouldn't mind allowing me to access the files regarding my rescue,
That shouldn't be too difficult. I've sent all the relevant information to you, Slades. Was there anything else?
No, Admiral. Thank you.
You don't need to thank me, Commander. I just hope you find whatever it is you're looking for.
We should make sure we're well supplied for the trip to Cassiopeia.
Enjoy the penthouse. One of the finest views in New Atlantis. During the Colony War, I would have described her as a natural-born leader. Efficient, unwavering, motivational, ideal officer material. But after the incident on Cassiopeia, Commander Morgan changed. She became unsure of herself, so she was assigned to the Navigator Corps. But it wasn't really a punishment. After all, it was obvious she was yearning for an exploratory position, and we mutually agreed the move would be beneficial. I truly felt sorry for her when the cabinet pulled the plug on her division. And I wasn't surprised when she resigned from the service the very next day. Despite all that, if you ask me how I feel about Commander Morgan today, all I can say is that I'll answer whatever I can. But please understand, that was a military vessel, and some of... Unfortunately, I can't divulge the reason the Dauntless was in the Cassiopeia system, but it clearly became engaged with Freestar Collective warships. According to its flight recorder, it was heavily damaged by weapons fire and succumbed to full structural failure. Considering this was one of our larger warships at the time, it's not surprising that it took so long for it to break apart. If memory serves, a total of 11 personnel escaped the destruction of the vessel, including Commander Morgan. That class of ship was equipped with 6 escape shuttles, but the flight recorder only indicates 2 left the Dauntless before it. I hope you aren't attempting to insinuate something, but no, I wasn't in charge of the UC fleet back then. That honor fell to Fleet Admiral Francois Sanon. I'm afraid I don't have a good answer for that. We were at the height of the war, and the UC had retreated from that star system. We simply didn't have the capability to mount a search. It was purely due to blind chance that a passing freighter picked up Commander Morgan's emergency beacon. Certainly.
Beginning landing. Dad, do you think Solomon could with me?
Sure. Everyone likes you.
Do you think he would have liked you?
If you listen to your grandma, Solomon Coe would have given me a good whooping. But I think he would have liked the man I grew into.
You keep installing new cool things in your ship. It's like Christmas every day.
I can't believe I'm here. It feels like walking into a dream. Oh, it's been nearly 20 years, but it feels like a lifetime. Strangely, this place looks exactly the same as I remember it. But that isn't possible, right? Just like a dream. I'm okay. Phew. Okay, so, yes, this looks correct. Those rock formations nearby look familiar. My old campsite. You mean besides the dangerous terrain, vicious fauna, and the chance of getting lost? Nah, you've got nothing to worry about. Knowing that is the only reason. Once we get to the campsite, we'll use that as a starting point to search for the cruise. Let's go. This is it. This is the spot where I spent. Not exactly Paradiso. I'm surprised you've never heard of the place. It's a resort colony in the Parima system. You know, a place to get... Maybe we should head out there after we're done. Goodness knows we'll both need a vacation. I never said I walked away. When my ship hard landed on the surface, it broke apart. There was no fire, but I was When they finally rescued me, the UC medics said I had 3 broken ribs, shattered my ulna, and had internal organ damage. I was in the medical ward, recovering for almost... Yeah? Well, inside I'm a shattered wreck. So, joke's on both of us, I suppose. Look at this thing. It's been sitting here rusting. I think we need to grab an emergency power cell to get the ship's computer. No, I'm afraid that it can't. It's only designed... Even if it could, my old shuttle is far too damaged to be fully Sure, we have plenty of power cells on the ship, but they're not useful. I'm afraid we'll have to do some scrounge. Cute. When I was stranded, I set up a distress beacon powered by emergency power cells. The beacon was up there on the plateau. We've located where the other shuttle went down. I can't believe our plan worked. Don't even joke. If this data is faulty, and we end up being pointed to a pile of rocks... Oh, I don't even know. I'm fairly certain I was able to capture all the data before I hit the ground. I'll try not to worry about it if you won't. And so modest, too. The telemetry data puts the wreckage out of range to hike. We're going to have to head back to the ship and land on a different... Let's get going. Oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen. It's all here. Had I been on this planet under more pleasant circumstances, I might have had more time to appreciate the beauty it has to offer. Judging from this debris, the crew's shuttle sustained far more damage than my own. Those poor souls. This is what's left of the crew's shuttle. But it looks like parts were scavenged and dragged somewhere else. Could there have been survivors? Scan any promising leads?
Stop. I'll shoot if I have to. Just turn around and leave. I know how to use this thing, and I will.
Oh my god. Who are you?
I'm nobody. Just go away. I'm not going to let anyone take my stuff again. No way. Both of you, just go! Hey, I'm not stupid. Last time people were here, they promised to help. They ended up tricking me. They stole all of my good stuff and left me behind. I'm not going to let that happen ever again. I don't know. You're kind of scaring me. Why should I listen to you? That's because no one is fooling me ever again. Take me home? I was born here. This is my home. You're going to have to come up with a better story than that.
You were born here? Hold on. Oh my god. Your parents, your mum and your dad, what were their names?
Jenna and Elias. Why?
Jenna and Elias. Private Jenna Marsh and Corporal Elias Obrist. You're their daughter. Listen to me. I knew your parents. They worked with me on the Dauntless. I'm Commander Sarah Morgan.
You're Sarah Morgan? Mom and Dad's captain? My parents used to talk about you all the time. It's like a dream to finally meet you. I know this is Cassiopeia. I've been here since I was born. I know my mother and father were from Gemsun or something like that. I bet it's like 1,000 miles away. My parents told me she was in command of their ship. They said she was a hero and the bravest person they ever... Yeah? Well, I wish you wouldn't have taken so long. My parents are dead. My father died a long time ago. And my mother, she was killed by those monsters at the graveyard. It's just me here now. All by myself.
Let me ask you a question. Actually, I don't even know your name.
Oh, yeah. My name's Sona.
Sona. What a lovely name. Sona, you mentioned a graveyard. Is that where the crew is, you know?
Buried? Yeah. It's a bunch of stones with those necklaces like the ones my mom and dad had hanging on them.
Thank you, Sona. I'm going to talk to my friend here a minute, okay?
Okay, Sarah.
Phew. I'm trying to hold it together. There's just too much coming at me all at... I'm just so relieved that you're here. There's absolutely no... Yeah. This isn't what I... Oh, there's so much to process. But I don't have time to deal. If you want to help, then find that graveyard and bring me those necklaces Sona mentioned.
I'm hoping they're my crew's gene tags. It's an identification tag worn by UC military personnel. It's encoded. If we can bring them back to Jemison, it would be like bringing home the... Oh, I'll be fine. It's... Sona's monsters are undoubtedly hostile life forms that have claimed the graveyard as their territory.
Yeah? Mom had slates with learning stuff on them. She used them to teach me how to read, and I think we looked at that stuff every day. She called it... Yeah, I did. Mom told me Dad got hurt. He was always lying down and sleeping a lot. But I don't know what made him so sick. I was really little when he died. So... Well, every day my mom would go up to the graveyard to visit Dad. Sometimes there was this one day where I couldn't go, and she never came back. I finally went up there and found her, but she was hurt really bad. I couldn't even bring her home. If you want. Mom was a doctor on her ship, so she taught me how to gather food and medicine. She also taught me how to shoot this gun, in case bad people or monsters tried to get me. Bunch of jerks. They pretended to be nice. They made all these promises. They said they'd take me with them if I helped them load all of my stuff onto their ship. When I went to get the last bit of stuff that I had hid, they already took off and flew away. I think I don't know. There was one lady and two guys. The lady was the one they were wearing spacesuits and had all kinds of guns. One of them had a big scar on his face. I think I heard one of them say they were from the fleet. You sound just like my mom. She was always telling me, it's okay to be upset all the time. When I get older, if I ever see those jerks again, I'm watching you.
Sona, calm down and listen to me. It's much too dangerous to stay here all by yourself, darling.
I don't care. This is my home. You can't make me leave.
We can't leave her here. It's not safe. She has to come back with us to Jemison. Oh, I don't know what to do. I knew I could depend on you. Now all we have to do is convince this poor girl that she's better off leaving the planet with us. I don't know if I have it in me to say the right thing.
I can hear you talking about me. And I don't care what either of you say.
Look, I'm clearly out of my element here and not in the right state of mind.
Why won't Sarah listen to me? I mean, kinda. I just met her. The only reason I'm trusting you at all is because I know she probably wants to help me out, but I really wish she'd listen to my... That doesn't make a lot of sense. She's only known about me for... That still doesn't mean I should leave the only home I ever had, does it? I never thought... But... leaving Mom and Dad behind... It's really hard. Even though they're dead. I suppose you're right. Mom and Dad... I'm sorry I yelled at everybody. I know you and Sarah are just... I'm going to go get my stuff and then I'll board your ship. Don't worry, I'll stay out of the way until we get... well...
That poor girl. I hope we've made the right decision. Oh, I do hope that's true. We're ripping Sona from the only home she's ever known and casting her back into society. It's going to be difficult for her to adjust to the changes. Wherever she ends up, just promise me we'll check on her from time to time, please. Thank you. Look, before we leave Cassiopeia behind, I wanted to say one more thing to you. Perhaps at the overlook we passed on the way here? I promise it won't take long. Let's go.
It's tough to pack up a lifetime of memories. Don't worry. I'll be on your ship. Let's talk another time.
Look, before we head back to the ship, I wanted to tell you how much of an amazing gift this has been. You had to push me to come out here, and if I hadn't have listened to you, the universe would probably have never known about that little girl. And I intend to repay you for that, even if it takes the rest of my life. You know, this is the second time I've been on this world, and until this very moment I never stopped to reflect at just how magnificent it was. Oh, look at this place. This is the reason I'm out here, exploring the stars. Worlds upon worlds, just waiting to have their beauty discovered. Shedding this burden of my past has finally allowed me to open my eyes, wider than they've ever been opened before. And it's all because of you. Perhaps. I suppose we'll both have to think about that for a while now, won't we? Well, I suppose it's time to bid goodbye to Cassiopeia once again. This time, under much happier circumstances. Now, let's head back to Jemison. I want to give those gene tags you gathered to Admiral Logan, and figure out what we're going to do with Sona. Mind if we stop by the waterfall on this trip? I could use a few moments to unwind. Security scanners, chemical sniffers. The United Colonies sure isn't taking any chances.
Captain, can I help you?
Reginald Orlay's days of inflicting death are over, and we have you to thank for it. Welcome back. Did you find your answers?
And we did it for the child that was marooned there. A child, born from 2 of the crew, that survived the crash. After her parents died, that poor girl spent years surviving on that hostile world, alone. We abandoned her, Admiral. We let her down.
I'm sorry. I had no idea. How could we have possibly known? Sona. Is that her name? She must be a remarkable young woman.
She's extraordinary, Admiral. And I'm afraid the United Colonies let her down.
You're absolutely right, Sarah. We did let her down. One thing that I can assure you is that the names of these men and women will never be forgotten. I'll see to it personally.
Thank you, Admiral.
Good luck to both of you. It's been an honor.
Once we're done here, we should have a little talk with Sona. Poor thing's waiting for us at the...
We should probably talk. There you are. I was wondering when he'd come and say hi to me. Yeah, it was kind of hard though. All these people around. Never seen so many people in my entire life. Sarah gave me directions. She's really good at that. Riding that gnat thing was super cool. It was like magic or something. Like something from the stories Mom. But the hardest part was having everyone staring at me. All these people in one place. It's kind of scaring me. I don't know why. I think I like it. I don't know yet.
You'll fit in just fine. You're one of the smart... So, what do you think?
At the lodge? Yeah, this place is huge. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, this place isn't mine alone. It belongs to everyone who's a part of and I think it should belong to you too, Sona. I want you to stay here and make this your home.
Whoa. Does that mean I get to go exploring with both of you?
Exactly. And this is the perfect place to begin your education.
I understand. Oh, and don't worry, I learn real fast, so you better get ready to have another member of Constellation signing on for missions.
I can't wait.
Well, anyway, thanks for letting me stay here. I promise I won't let either of you down.
I'm sure that you won't. Well, I think we should let Sona get settled. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to visit the Colony War Memorial now. I want to pay my final respects.
occupied sector. Well, that's...
What's the word for that again? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Feel like starting with a program young is the best way for them to achieve their dreams.
I've heard some xenopredators can mimic other animals to track their prey.
That is both very cool and very terrifying.
I swear to God, if I end up on some far-off planet, I hear my own voice.
I know I sound like a commercial right now, but I've been to other stores and they have the best deals in the entire galaxy.
They also beat any prices, provided it's advertised. Oh god, I'm doing it too.
It's not just the prices on individual items either. Their bundles are top tier.
Let's get a second opinion, shall we? Walter and I were just discussing the expenses incurred during the attack. It seems that Walter has taken it upon himself to cover the costs of the repairs to both the lodge and the Eye, as well as any expenses relating to the funeral services. Let's get a second opinion, shall we? Walter and I were just discussing the expenses incurred during the attack. It seems, as well as... Let's get a second opinion, shall we? Walter and I were just discussing the expenses incurred during the attack. It seems that Walter has taken it upon himself to cover the costs of the repair. as well as any expenses related. Let's get a second opinion, shall we? Walter and I were just discussing the expenses incurred during the attack.
No, I was explaining that there's nothing to discuss. It's been taken care of.
It seems that Walter has taken it upon himself to cover the costs of the repairs to both the lodge and the Eye, as well as any expenses relating to the funeral services.
Barrett, for all his antics, was an essential part of this group. And a friend. Well, it's not about looking for thanks. It needed to be done, that's all.
Well, I can't thank you enough, Walter.
Sarah, I know we argue about money all the time. Most of it is in jest, but occasionally it's not. This is the one way I can best contribute to our work. It has been, and continues to be, an honor to do so. And when this is all over, we can go back to squabbling about minor expenses. But it was important to me that I do this.
Fair enough. Well, since we're already talking about this, there is one more thing I'd like to do for Barrett, and I'd appreciate your input. Nothing extravagant, just a small plaque here in the lodge. Something to remember them by. Wait. Sounds Sounds fitting. Any objections, Walter?
No,
Then it's settled. I'm glad we had this discussion.
And now, perhaps we can try and move on.
Yes, I think that's right. Look at this. All these people, their entire lives distilled down to names on a memorial. I wonder how close I came to being reduced to just a name. I am proud. I was simply too foolish to realize it until you changed my perspective. And I care about you too. There's obviously some kind of a connection between us that I think we need to discuss. Just let me have another moment here, and then we can head over to the waterfall, so we can talk in private. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. I've flown across most of the settled systems in all manners of spacecraft, and yet I still get sick on the gnat. when things at the lodge are too much, I love coming to this spot to just sort of, I don't know, melt away for a while. It's lovely here, isn't it? I've been... I don't know. Maybe it's the strange way that the art, technology, and nature fuse together. Whatever it is, I definitely feel more. I hadn't thought of it that way. I usually come up here to mull over some of the heated debates we have at Constellation. You'd be surprised how many decisions I've made on this. Is it that obvious? The truth is, I've asked you up here because I wanted to talk about something very important. Good, because I have a lot to say. It's about my return to Cassiopeia. What we learned about Sona has been constantly replaying in my mind. Maybe it sounds crazy, but that young girl's isolation feels like a reflection of my own life. In all honesty, I don't. She simply reminds me of my own isolation. Maybe not in the literal sense of the word, but I certainly relate to some of her loneliness. Maybe. But for how long? I've spent my life surrounded by all sorts of people. Constellation, the Navigator Corps. Hell, even the UC military. Despite that, no matter how hard I've tried to make them a part of my life, they tend to drift away and disappear. I suppose. Well, if that's true, this challenge is wearing me down. Finding someone like that. Wait a second. What exactly are you saying? You have no idea how relieved I am to be honest, I was afraid this conversation was going to wind up with you storming away. I'm glad I was wrong. Until now, I never realized that having someone like you by my side could make me feel at peace. And I never want that feeling to... If I can help you with anything, just say the word. Our friendship hasn't... Anytime you want to talk, we should get a drink sometime.
I have something for you when you have a moment.
Your ship smells so much better than Dad's.
Important or not? Yep, here you go. Oh, damn. I'm starting to enjoy the conversation.
How's it going?
Hey, good to see you. Any day you make it through is a I was itching to...
Okay, Sam. I'm trusting you to stay out of trouble.